to you.
Yo, what's poppin', all my peeps? It is I, your host with the most, Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back in the yard of streams for another edition of the Smackdown Breakdown, presented to you by Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. And I can't just do this alone in the yard of streams. You can't have Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sarah Marshall. What's poppin'? Who actually did it? Oh my god!
You really think I was just gonna pretend?
No, but that's just like, that is terrifying.
Hey, yo.
There it is.
There you go.
Oh my god, that was
Yahweh, Wowway.
that. I remember seeing the Fiend mask for the first time, and it terrified me.
Yeah, no.
Legitimately terrified me, where I actually had the thought, holy shit, I haven't had this feeling since Kane.
Yeah, when I was a child.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
felt,
like
yeah.
I was 4.
Well, keep in mind, I wasn't. And also when the Fiend, I was like 30, you know? So like the fact that the Fiend, I was like, I don't want to be at a show when the Fiend is there. Because it wasn't just the mask, it was the music that they played and how they had like the lights like off, but like with they were like flickering. I don't know.
Yeah, the swinging lantern and stuff like during. Yeah, it was oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah.
But
anyways, what is up, Bernard?
How we doing? David too was popping. Smackdown. We gotta talk about it. All right, we're kicking things off a little early here. That's due to Mr. Popularity here. And I've been so busy lately that I fell asleep last night right before the main event, whatever. So I came home from selling fish. I popped it on. Thank God I did. And thank God I watched it and then can have this instant reaction because of the main event. I believe that might have been the best main event finish. I'm recording. Okay. Sorry.
Is that your mama?
Yep. I'm in the middle of where's my thought?
You think it was the best main event ending?
Best ending to a main event or show on SmackDown in recent history. And the reason I say that, without spoiling anything what we're going to talk about, is I have no effing idea where we're going. Like where to go from this. That excites me. That makes me thrilled that there's something to look forward to.
Yes, I agree. I am with you. I understand.
Yes. So kick thing, that's a little segue there. Yeah, because I don't know what.
Okay, so we started off the show with Charlotte and Shotzi versus Damage Control. And my main question is, what is going on? What is this? So, I mean, it was a fine match. My main takeaways, it was a fine match. The dynamic between Shotzi and Charlotte is unique. I'm just not really into this whole storyline right now. Honestly, the biggest thing that I took away from this was it feels like it's their attempt to try and get Charlotte out of being in line for the championship, but not having her be too far away. Because
she can't. She's the queen.
Yeah, so I just think it's funny because I think that, we've been talking about how she needs to be out of contention for the title. And so it's like, okay, yeah, let's put her with Shotzi and like have her involved in this little feud that Shotzi's been having with Damage Control. But it's like, well, Io's in Damage Control and has the title, so Charlotte's still not like too far away.
Exactly. Yeah. It was just I just took this for what it was, the opening match of SmackDown. I'm happy Shotzi's finally getting some airtime because she has got better. I like the direction they're her character is going, where it's a little bit psychotic, which you kind of need that, especially with a heel group like Bailey's and
Yeah.
Damage Control, whatnot. So that's good because we need more feuds that have nothing to do with titles in the women's division.
Right.
And I don't. I would like to see Charlotte not around the title picture, but beggars can't be choosers. So.
Well, and I guess she's kind of in a weird spot, similarly to like Rhea Ripley, because Asuka, we'll talk about in a second, but she's involved in the title picture. Bianca is on vacation. Bailey is in Damage Control, so Bailey, is involved with whatever Damage Control is doing. So Charlotte is kind of just like left there, I guess. So she doesn't really have a whole lot to do. But yeah, I hope that they kind of figure out something for her, because I don't know, it's not making me interested in anything in the women's division on SmackDown other than Damage Control at this point. Like, I'm not invested. It's just kind of like with Raw. It's like I care about what Becky's doing and I care about what Rhea's doing, but that's like it. There's not like a whole lot, so
no one gives you a reason to care what they're doing. There's no reason to care there. I can see that. Yeah.
So I already alluded to, but Asuka returned finally because she just keeps sporadically leaving. Awesome. And so she shows up at the end of the match and just gets in the ring and is like, ha 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 ha, like here I am being cute and stuff, because I have like
the way she took the title off of Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
And then was like around, like that was so like she just pops up out of nowhere. That's what I love about Asuka, that she just pops up out of nowhere, and it's awesome.
She's a little menace. I like that.
Really is. Yeah, menace is a good way to describe her.
Yeah. So, obviously, because we haven't seen her, I think, since SummerSlam, basically, when she lost the women's championship to Bianca, who was then cashed in by Io. She's like, all right, well, I'm gonna step over Bianca because she ain't here, and so she's stepping up to Io, which that is something that we've been waiting for a very long time. I don't know how many people have been saying they want to see Io versus Asuka, and it looks like we're finally getting it. Yeah. So we see Damage Control interviewed later in the show, and Io challenges Asuka for the title. And later, I don't know if it was after the show went off the air or what, but they announced that it will be happening on SmackDown in 2 weeks.
It was later. It was later on the show.
Okay, I missed it because I fast forward through the commercials and
you were trying to hit it right. I respect the game. I respect the game there.
So I am excited about that because, like we said, we've been wanting to see this for a long time, and I feel like this is a feud that could be long and interesting because Asuka interests me. Io interests me. The dynamic of Damage Control now that Io has the title interests me. So I'm really curious to see where this goes, because I feel like with Asuka, obviously we love Asuka, but she's kind of unpredictable in this new era that she's in, because first of all, it's like her first real heel run in WWE.
True heel run where it's the training wheels are off.
Yeah, but like the things that she's doing are just so like unpredictable. It just makes you wonder, like, okay, like what is she gonna do next, or what is like. So I think that makes it a little bit more interesting than if this were just a normal, like, okay, it's Asuka versus Io. Okay, it's like, because Asuka has more layers to her now, as opposed to when for the rest of her main roster run, it's just been like, yay, Asuka, she's great, but like that's kind of it. She's
no like deeper side, like it's showing off her darker side.
Yeah,
it brings a nice dynamic.
Exactly like what we've been saying about Shinsuke.
It's the Japanese style. I'm telling you, like they allow the wrestlers to really develop a character where their actions say more than their words.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about it.
That's what I'm glad about, that Triple H is in charge. There's certain wrestlers that are benefiting so much from Triple H being at the at the helm of everything now, because there's a reason why we're talking about, okay, Asuka is in a better position now. Yeah, well, she's been on the main roster for years, and it's like she didn't have, I mean, it's not like she hasn't been good or like interesting, and same thing with Nakamura, but it just feels like, again, I made this a point, I don't know, a week or so ago, that Vince just seems like he didn't know how to handle what they can bring in the style that they have in the wrestling ring, the way that they do promos, whatever. And so I'm
Yeah.
just very excited about this. It just excites me.
I do have a
Okay.
question before we jump
Yes.
to the
Yes.
next. Is that it's in 2 weeks? It's on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you want to do this match on a PLE pay-per-view?
I'm thinking that this might be something where it ends up being like a disqualification, or it ends in a weird fashion, and then it's forced to be at Fastlane. That's
Okay.
my guess, because 2 weeks seems very random. Like, why wouldn't it be next week? Like, it
That's
just
true.
feels like they don't usually do that. Like, it's gonna happen in 2 weeks. Like, what? Like, it's just very random. So that was my initial guess, was like, I don't know, I don't remember when exactly Fastlane is, but yeah,
I don't
this
either. That's why I'm just posing the question, because
let me see.
we talk about this a lot, where they have matches on Raw and SmackDown, title matches on Raw and SmackDown, that have us questioning why isn't it being done at the pay-per-view, where this match is an easy pay-per-view, makes the match card.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more interested. Yeah, like my thought process goes where you go, or where you're going. I mean, it's just I am kind of looking at it as making SmackDown that much more legitimate. And maybe
So
next week, maybe they're not doing it. Here's another thought just popped in. Maybe they're not doing it next week because of this alleged trade that's going to happen.
Oh,
Could be done
yeah.
next week, so that'll take up a lot of time. Maybe they're thinking now, like, oh shit, we're going to have this, like this. We want to give them the proper amount of time for this. And who cares if it's a week buffer? Throw a
Yeah.
promo in there, vignette, something.
Well,
So
and
then
it's
it
the
gives them time and, respect in a way.
and it's a good way for them to make sure that they don't move it, because they've done that a couple times,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, this is happening next week, and then it's like, LOL, just kidding, it's happening in like the following week. Like, they've had to just like abruptly change it. So
Mhm.
at least this is like, okay, no, this is happening in 2 weeks, so there's really no excuse for you to say no, it's not happening. But I
Yeah,
did just
that's
look,
yeah.
Fastlane's not until October 7th, so
Yeah,
I don't
so
know.
that makes so much sense to
Yeah,
do it
there's
now and
still
then.
quite a way, but
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, this gives them time. So um moving on. So then we see Jimmy Uso, who is solo. It's just me, He's singing
But
it.
it's
He's
not.
singing that on his own show. He said something I think his song said something about how he's been a G since he was born or something. I was like, "Oh my god,
Oh, I
you
have a
guys."
lot of comments and thoughts about his song when we get to that part of the show. I don't want to
Oh,
get ahead of
okay.
myself.
Okay. So since Jay is now on Raw, as we saw, and probably one of the biggest baby faces on Raw now,
Hands,
they yeah. Yeah, I know. All the
unreal.
uncoordinated white people.
We
So they look to be having Jimmy as a heel on SmackDown. So I have a theory on this though. So he runs into Paul and he's like, yeah, I'm still in the bloodline. Like, no one ever said I was out, and I never said I was out. So I'm in, Oos. And
it's
Paul is
the
like,
only one. Jay was
huh?
the only one who said he was out, but
I know.
Jay was
Yeah.
out, so
Yeah.
he's in technicality.
So Paul's like, well, actually, you might not be out, but you're also not really in. So we're gonna have to wait and see what Roman says about this. But you need to handle AJ Styles tonight, and then I will talk to Roman and continue to work my magic on getting this family back together. So they split up, and then Paul, of course, runs into AJ Styles as AJ's like pretending to be like talking to the seamstress or whatever. And
Sign autograph. We sign autograph.
oh, I thought it was like a seamstress, like, or
Oh, he was
something.
signing the
I don't know.
merch.
So they get into a little scuffle, and AJ pushes him into one of those, I don't know, the loading boxes of whatever for the stage. And Jimmy then comes out of nowhere and is like, nah, and just like beats him up and throws him over one of those boxes. And then he's all like, oh, I just took care of AJ Styles for you, bruh. And then he like is like, yeah. And Paul is like, call Roman Reigns. And just like walks away. And I'm like, this is
How is Call Roman Reigns not been put on a t-shirt yet?
I don't know.
That's gonna be an iconic line forever.
I know. And I'm like, I have another idea for a shirt because, and I'll say it has nothing to do with this, but I want a Grand Slam Finn shirt. Why don't we have a Grand Slam Finn shirt? Because he's calling himself Grand Slam Finn. Why don't we have a Senor Money in the Bank?
We have a Senor Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yes,
already
but
made.
It would be nice to have a t-shirt. But also, I want Grand Slam Finn. That's all I want. You know, there's a lot of t-shirt ideas. Yeah. So, yeah,
don't worry. We're kind of talking about that right now. We are getting right into it. So
yeah, well, this is the little bit of the bloodline until the end of the show.
A little appetizer.
Yes. So until the bloodline stuff continues, that's just, I'm going in the order of the show. Okay. So we see LA Knight get a massive pop from the Boston crowd. And I was like,
Bostonians know megastars when they see it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they do.
We just know. We know talent.
And LA Knight has his new shirt on. Looking nice. I like his new shirt. It's funny though, because his shirts are so geared towards men. And I'm like, I understand, because I'm sure most men are fans of LA Knight as opposed to women, I guess. I don't know. But I was like, it's not that bad. Like, it's definitely more friendly for ladies than his shirt. His shirt is like such a dude shirt. But
girls won't wear that. I could see no, but then let me talk to you. You girls can wear that.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's more girl friendly, but it's still like not really. But it's fine.
Yeah.
So he comes out and he just mocks The Miz for his performance on Raw for beating up an invisible John Cena, obviously. And he also sent a shout out to Kevin Nash.
I didn't catch it. Sexy. I will. I'm gonna hand up. The champ did not catch that one.
Yeah,
I had to go back.
So he references The Miz, I came to play. And he's like, well, if I was a moron, I would say play is an adjective, but I'm not a moron. So it's a verb. And he said, that's exactly what The Miz wants to do. He wants to play dress up and play make believe. And I'm not into it, basically. So if you guys are not aware, he sent a shout out to Kevin Nash because Kevin Nash has kind of talked some ish a little bit about LA Knight.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah, so that's why he kind of took a shot. Yeah, and just I don't know. I don't really.
I don't know if you noticed, but last night or during his promo, he was doing a lot of Rock type things.
Yeah, well,
so I think like he was like turning the knife in there because. Got it, like the slow little waiting for the crowd, the slow movements.
Did you see him smile from the crowd?
I did. Yeah, when they said.
No, before he got into the ring, when he does the thing on the side. Yeah, he like actually smirked. I was like, see,
he's soaking it in.
He's liking it. Anyway, so that's why he kind of did that shot. If you guys aren't aware, I forget who posted it. Someone posted the clip of WCW Kevin Nash being a silly goose saying play was an adjective. But anyway,
adjective.
It's fine, okay. So he says how he, The Miz did not lose to him because of Cena, and that he didn't even want John Cena in the match. Okay, I didn't even want him there. I didn't want him as the referee. He got in my way, whatever. So he essentially accepts The Miz's challenge, but then he is rudely interrupted by Mr. Grayson Waller, and I was like, I don't know. I'm obsessed, even though Grayson shit on Boston. Did you see his video of him shitting on Boston?
Yeah, what beach was that? Because
I don't know, but I'm like, you probably picked the worst possible beach. People thought it was Revere Beach. That's what some
Revere's all right. It's no Mayflower.
But I'm just saying that's what some people in the comments
are saying. No Nantasket either. For all my South Shore peeps out there.
I don't know, but I was like, well, you live you're from a country that is literally surrounded by water. So
when we're a mini country, we're a commonwealth. Surrounded by
So
water.
Waller comes out and he just basically brags about how him and Theory beat the LWO, and he eventually just has Theory come out because it's like, well, we're talking about him, so let's not be rude. And so
I
Theory
love
comes
that. I
out.
love their little.
Yeah, I'm conflicted. He
Ooh.
comes out and he says that LA Knight needs to soak up his 15 minutes of fame because it's not gonna last long. And when he is done with LA Knight, the Miz won't even want to waste his time. And LA Knight is like, I'm gonna show you two incels how it's done. And I love how like they were all like, no, we're not incels, we get laid. Like they were like, we get laid. Like they wanted to make sure that they were like, no, you know. And I was like, yeah, they were like very much
We
like, oh
get
my
laid.
god, yeah, we get laid. So he calls them incels. He calls Theory a cross-eyed half-wit, and also goes on to call them crotch goblins.
That was my favorite. I'm gonna start using that in my vernacular. That is just incredible.
I've heard crotch goblins before, but I'm not sure in what context. But I mean, sure, it was a good one, I guess. He's pushing the envelope a little bit by his,
It's
vocabulary.
Fox. What time was the it was what, third match? It's around 9 o'clock. I think
Yeah, we're getting a little NSFW here.
Yeah, we can go a little bit more risque after a certain time. As someone who went to
guess.
school for this shit, you
Yeah.
can get a little bit more, I don't want to say explicit, but
Kind
you can
of.
say more words after a certain time because of like demographics and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the time for this. If you want to know more about it, DMs are open, I guess.
This leads into Austin Theory versus LA Knight, and Waller is on commentary. And the biggest takeaway I would say from commentary is that Waller reveals their tag team name is A-Town Down Under.
Yeah. Fan-fucking-tastic. That's a great name.
It really is. And I thought it was funny because the way he said it just was kind of like, oh yeah, like, whatever. But it seemed like the commentators, they actually liked it. He was like, oh, you like that? And it's like, yeah, no, they did. Like they actually did because it was pretty good.
It was very creative.
So yeah, and he tries to get involved in the match, obviously, because it's just a standard match. He tries to get involved by taking the pad off the turnbuckle, but nothing happens with that. LA Knight hits Theory with the BFT, wins the match, and then Waller tries to sneak in and attack him, but LA is like, honey, and he like backs out of the ring. It's like, oh, I wasn't doing anything. So even though we're getting LA Knight versus The Miz to continue, I really want to see LA Knight versus Grayson Waller on the main roster, because if people are not familiar, they had like a big rivalry in NXT. So I really want to see this on the main roster because I just imagine how good that will be.
Oh man, I just had a brain blast.
Oh geez.
Wow. Okay. Hear me out, peeps. All right, so you just said that. That's a fantastic idea. We're rolling with it.
Okay.
They're gonna tag for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little chemistry going. Friendship, you might say.
Okay.
Wasn't there, before I reveal, wasn't there a report recently that a star is going to be pushed to be a super baby face, and people will be very pleased with this push? Do you remember this? Like there's going to be a baby face, like a switch from heel.
I don't know if I read
this was like a week or two ago, but the chance
I don't know. I don't
good.
remember. I don't remember.
So it happened. That tweet did happen. What if it's Theory and Waller turns on him right before they win the tag titles against Judgment Day, or before they do something? And then you get Austin Theory as the underdog. Like Waller is such a dick that he just turned on a guy who could have been his best friend. All this, like,
I need it. I saw a video of this is what's funny, right? We were just talking about how Bianca was all nervous, like, oh, if I turn heel, like I can't do these events and charity events, whatever. Meanwhile, Bailey and Austin Theory went to the Boston Children's Hospital to meet with kids. And I'm like, okay, like I know that they're not, they're not Judgment Day. They're not vile, they're not vile, hated heels, but we're still supposed to hate them, right? So
He's supposed to boo
I
them,
see
yeah.
this video and I can't hate Theory. I just can't. This
Yeah.
man is a gem to this earth.
He's
He is
such a good
so
dude.
nice.
Yeah.
Like he gives me like, well, he's less annoying Miz, but I mean, like, when it comes to kids, like, he gives me that Miz energy where he like does not care that he knows that kids don't like him, so he like teases them, because he was like with this one little girl and he was like, I know I'm your favorite, and then she's like, but he like embraced it and he was like, what is that, like,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, the Miz is like that too, like he knows that the kids hate him. So I don't know, I was like, this is exactly why he's just not at a state in his career yet where he can be a very good, convincing heel. Like, make him the good guy, because
Yeah.
I don't want to compare him to John Cena, but I really do feel like he could get over, not to the same
No,
extent
I know
as John
with
Cena, but
the charity stuff is John. Yes, I understand your point there. Yeah.
yeah, I just think that he could be like a good babyface that people would want to cheer for. And yeah, I think it would be more interesting at this point. I mean, it's hard to figure out how to make a babyface interesting because sometimes it's not easy, because it's like, we're a good guy, and like that's about it, you know.
Yeah.
Unless you're Raquel Rodriguez and people are like, her gimmick is that she has a back, and I'm like, oh god.
Dimples. They're back.
Yeah,
Dimples.
she's got a back, guys. But
Baby got back.
yeah. So I would like to see them do that with you know, with Theory. I don't know. It feels like they're just not sure, but you know, it is what it is. Do we have any comments? I see we have a bunch of comments.
I
So
see Waller and Theory as tag champs only if Judgment Day don't want to work Fridays.
yeah, I don't think that they're going to take those titles off of Judgment Day, at least not anytime soon. I think some of that's wishful thinking, but I also feel like you can't right now, because like if you're trying to push them as, I mean, you kind of need them to be the most dominant faction in WWE right now, because the bloodline is so mixed up and Roman's not around. Like, you kind of need them to be that group in place of the bloodline right now. So yeah.
You need I agree. Yeah, next.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, and then we get Paul Heyman. He's backstage. He's talking to what? Oh. He's talking to Adam Pearce. And in comes Mr. LA Knight. Paul Heyman was complaining because he got jumped by AJ Styles, by the way, even though he got saved in 0.2 seconds by Superman Jimmy Uso. But
that's just a great heel. Paul's
also,
a great heel.
I don't mean to talk bad about Paul Heyman, but man, that foundation on his face last night.
Yeah,
you could see that makeup, honey. And I was like,
he's got a little touch
you
up.
Dirty Paul. Paul, if you're going to put makeup on, at least put it in your bald area too, because you could just someone's doing
tough.
him dirty. I don't know if anyone's doing it to him or he's doing it himself, but
he's definitely doing it. He's someone who's
somebody needs to help him. Well, and I'm not shaming him for wearing makeup. I get it.
We all do.
Well, Cody looks like he's worn it too. I get it, but like,
we all wear it. Yeah. It's wrestling.
It's just you kind of need to try and make it not as noticeable.
No, but like, just clear it up. All we're saying is just like make it so we can't see it.
Yes, it's just and when you're not covering your bald, it's a little obvious.
That's why we've got hats on.
Yeah. So anyway, so LA Knight breaks in and he's like, I want my match with The Miz. I want it. He wants it. Make it official. And he said that, it's happening next week. So there we go. We got what we wanted. And then Paul is like, oh, wait, look at this sexy man that just walked in. And he just has to like lay it on thick to flirt with Mr. LA Knight. And he's like, hey, I've been a big admirer of your work. I'm a big fan of you, like everything that you do and everything. But he's like, the next time that the guy at the door tells you that I'm in here, knock first. Okay. He's like, do we have an understanding? And LA Knight goes up to his ear, whispers a little sweet nothing. Yeah. And it was like, oh, but what I noticed too.
Yeah,
we do. What I thought was interesting though was when he was like complimenting LA, you could see he was like, oh, you've noticed? Like, you're a fan of mine? He was like, he looked like he was genuinely flattered. And I was like, yeah, LA, people love you. But as I've said with other things like this, maybe in the big scheme of things, this meant nothing, right? But
Yeah.
with Triple H, I don't take little moments like this and feel like it doesn't mean anything. I feel like this might have been a setup for something in the future, whether it's a month from now, 6 months from now. I just always want to remember these little moments because it just doesn't feel like a coincidence that they had LA Knight barge into Adam Pearce's office while Paul Heyman was in there and Paul Heyman said all of these things to LA Knight. You know?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't think it was an accident. I think it was a purposeful moment. So I'm just curious,
Everything
what does this
was
mean?
done. See, to
You know?
me, what it means is just that it's eventually going to happen. Like, we're eventually going to see LA Knight and Roman Reigns cross paths. That is all it's to. It's just a very early foreshadowing.
And I know
That's all.
there's, people were talking about it last night. I don't know if it was because of this interaction or what, but it's like, okay, well, we need to see LA Knight versus Roman Reigns at some point, which I think is interesting because it makes sense when we're talking about LA Knight's trajectory because if he's not going to go after the US title, then we're like, okay, well, he has to go for something
You have to do
else. And the
something,
only other
yeah.
thing on SmackDown is the undisputed title. So it'll be
They're
interesting to
teasing
see
it,
how they
yeah.
could figure out that because obviously Roman's not around as much and he's feuding within the bloodline. So it's like, how would they involve LA Knight? But I'm intrigued.
Me too.
So then we get the best of the night. We all rise for the Judgment Day. I don't want to stand up.
Oh,
But
so I didn't know. I thought you said all rise. I'm just. I'm
that's
good at following orders.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. So they come out in all of their glory, dripping gold, and I'm just obsessed with Finn Balor right now. I mean, I'm obsessed with Finn Balor all the time, but I'm just obsessed with this like cocky attitude that he has now because he's got the 2 titles, and I'm just like, just obsessed. So they brag about their recent accomplishments, obviously, because they recently won the tag team championships, and Dom is still the North American champion. And they talk about Rhea's not there because she's off doing things in India, where she actually did defend her title. I think she was supposed to face Becky.
She was.
Natalya did double duty. So Natalya got another match with Rhea in India. So great job, Natty. And I love how they're just taking shots left and right at everybody. They're just like, we're the most dominant faction. We're even better than the bloodline, bro.
We did something Roman Reigns never did.
I didn't get there.
I'm sorry. I was excited.
So they say we did something that the bloodline couldn't do. And you know what? Actually, we did something that Roman couldn't do. And that is beating Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the tag team championships. And I was like, that's right. That's right, guys. Yeah. So then the Brawling Brutes are like, don't forget about us. And I'm like, God damn it. And so they come out and Ridge is all like, I have an issue with you guys saying that you are the most dominant group in WWE because it's actually me and Butch over here. And we are a tag team that you need to worry about. And I was like,
I don't think you are.
Who's gonna give him a reality check? That's what I wanted to know.
I can if you want. I can do it right here. Listen, Brawling Brutes, you're not there right now. Okay, you're like Too Cool right now. Okay, I'm gonna put it this way. Too Cool weren't gonna win matches. Yeah, they're gonna win a tag title here and there, but like for 2 weeks just to get them a picture with them in gold. But you're just there, okay? You are the supporting cast, the dudes that hang out at the bar when the main character walks in. You're just relax, all right? There are other tag teams that deserve our attention more than you right now. I love you, but all I care about but the Brawling Brutes is Butch. That's all I care about. So if I care about one person, then I don't care about the whole team.
Yeah. Well, and Sheamus wasn't even there.
That's my point. That's my point. I don't care about Ridge Holland. Sorry. There you go.
Yeah, I know. And then he's like, I take guys like you out. And I was like, yeah, we know, brother. We know. you got a track record. So then they get in the ring and Butch tries to break Finn's fingers, which I didn't appreciate. And I was like, those
I
are
do love
valuable
that move,
hands.
though. I love that move. It's so good. It's so demonic.
Yeah. So it leads to the Brawling Brutes versus the Judgment Day. And I mean, solid match. The Judgment Day win because, of course, they did. They have to. And I'm just impressed, okay? We got to see a coup de grace. We got to see 2 South of Heavens. Okay, I'm sorry, but that is one of the best finishing names ever.
Finishing names? Yes.
Yes. South of Heaven.
South of Heaven is a... Do you know that song?
No.
Oh, okay. It's a great name for it.
Yeah, it's just a great name for a finisher. I love it. And it's like PG, you know? So it's like, I love it. I thought it was great. But, you know, as great as this match was, there's one reason why I even cared. I mean, other than the Judgment Day. Guys.
Yeah, I let you take this one.
Guys.
Yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy!
Yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy!
My boys!
I'm happy. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you.
Oh my god, I could have shed a tear. I was like, oh my god. I have missed them so much. Oh my god. Oh, hi, buddy. Sorry. Hi. Did I lock my door? Oh my god. Okay, sorry. We
both had interruptions.
Yeah, my family is interrupting me. Oh, buddy, come here. Sorry, my nephew hasn't seen me that much today, and he's sad. He was crying.
Oh,
Pat is right here, bud.
What's poppin'?
My nephew's 5, guys, in case you didn't know, and he loves his auntie very much. Okay, I love you, buddy. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay? All right. Anyway, okay. So I was very excited that my boys were back because they've been gone for a while. And Elton is still in a wheelchair, but that is okay because they were back on TV. That's all I cared about. Okay. Because we were like, okay, they're not going to be in matches and whatever, because obviously Elton had a separated shoulder. But they weren't really on TV. They were like on TV, I think, like the week afterwards, and then they've been gone for about a month or so. And they were also interviewed later, and they were talking about how they were watching the tag team division closely. So I was like, yes, boys. And so
yes, boys.
I tweeted them. It was like when was it? Like a week. Oh, it was like a week ago or so, because I was like, oh my gosh, Smackdown is coming to Phoenix, and are you guys going to be at my show? And Kit liked it, but that doesn't mean anything. But what if this means that they will be here?
Maybe.
So this was exciting. But then we also got the Suit Profits. The Suit Profits, they decided, hey, we don't want you to forget about us. So after the match, as my other boys, Finn and Damien, were celebrating, Bobby Lashley and the Suit Profits come out and they square up to Judgment Day in the ring. And it appears that they kind of challenged them. So I was here for this, right? Which also kind of confused me, because there were reports that they were going to be heels. Definitely not. I feel like they know we can't. It's not going to work right now.
They could still be heels, but it's the champions. Like, it's...
but I mean, it's the Judgment Day.
That's the thing, is that, like, I don't know. Yeah.
But this made me realize even more that the tag team division is on absolute fire right now. And this is one of the biggest reasons why we said that we wanted the titles taken off of Kevin and Sammy, because there needed to be new blood in this, like, to get you excited again. Because this just was like, okay, so we have Judgment Day, who are the new tag champions. They're going against the Brawling Brutes. You see Pretty Deadly in the back, who are obviously very competent tag team competitors. Then you have the Suit Profits. I'm just like, So this is like so many different ways that the Judgment Day can compete. They can go against the Suit Profits. They can go against Pretty Deadly. They could continue going against the Brawling Brutes. Like and that's just on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like never mind Raw. So I'm very excited about this. It's exactly what I was hoping for. You know.
I predicted this. Okay. There was a Raw Rewind, I think 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I said, the banner said, the tag team wrestling is back.
Yes. I know.
That's all I gotta say on that. That is all. That is you. No, yes, I did, Vinny. You would. This is why you have to go to the archives. All right, little promotion ad read. Go to the archives. Sara Marshall on YouTube. You're already there, and watch the videos because we cut them. Okay, and then tell your friends to subscribe and hit that bell notification.
So I think that it was the perfect time to make the switch for the championships. I'm just so happy about it. And I love the dynamic with Finn and Damian. They're so good. I'm so excited. I'm loving it. This is a big reason why I want to keep watching SmackDown, because I get to get double of Judgment Day. Thank you. So that is very exciting.
Converted you. SmackDown, the A show, baby.
Whatever. Okay, so I want to go through comments.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I see Cha Boy is here. The Kingdom of Razor is here. He says, from a fan perspective, what match would you want to compete in? Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, or Elimination Chamber? Royal Rumble. 100%.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm going with Royal Rumble. It's my favorite match of all time. I think it's the greatest thing in wrestling ever. Yes. Although I would like to be in a Money in the Bank and fly off a ladder.
I'm not into that. See, that's the thing is, like, if I'm thinking about like myself, like as of right now, I'm gonna need to do a Royal Rumble because you don't need a whole lot of athleticism. Okay. No, I am not athletic and I am scared of heights. So I do not want to be climbing up a ladder, nor do I want to be stuck in a pod where I can be thrown against metal cage.
But what if you go second or first?
I don't want to be thrown against metal. Not at all.
Well, not with the new chamber. They nerfed it so hard.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Sorry, I know.
Oh yeah. See, this is exactly it. Cha Boy says, I found it strange that Holland referenced breaking since he broke Big E's neck. Just didn't seem wise. Yeah, I felt like that was like not the best thing for him to say. Not just because of this, because he also is the one that messed up Elton's shoulder. Yeah, but like you're asking for it when you say stuff like that. You know, like the fact that he was getting so much hate tweets, basically to the point of him allegedly having to delete his Twitter, at least for that period of time. I don't know that you should be going out and saying this because you're basically encouraging them to come after you. But I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Cha Boy is also excited for Pretty Deadly. Vinny Doom is not. He hates Pretty Deadly. That's very rude. I haven't seen Pretty Deadly in action. Are they good? Yes, Kingdom of Razor. Hello.
Kingdom of Razor. Hold on. You want SpongeBob, Sandy Cheeks, and Squidward.
Wait a second. Wait, get back to that in a second. We'll get back to get rid of that for a second.
What
yes, look them up at NXT UK. They won the NXT tag team titles. NXT, they won and they are the reason why they unified the NXT UK and NXT tag team championships. They're definitely like a comedic trio, but hello, they came from NXT UK. If you know a lot or enough about UK wrestling, then you know it's like legit hard-hitting, like fantastic wrestling. So yes, they are very good. And I think that they've had some really good matches on SmackDown.
They've had really good ones.
Yes. Vinny Doom says, what's your Twitter? It's smarshxo. Once I get rid of this, you'll be able to see it under my name.
There it is.
Okay, yeah, it's right there. I have it there all the time.
Yeah.
Vinny Doom also says, did you think Solo was going to join Judgment Day? The final shot of the night was him looking at Damian and Finn. No, I think there's something else going on there. They're kind of like being like
We'll
in
let's touch
allegiance.
upon that.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
what I
get there.
think.
Okay, so the King of Eraser says that he wants SpongeBob, Sandy Cheek, Squidward, and Plankton versus Judgment Day. Imagine Plankton versus Finn. Well,
we have news for you.
We have news. So, Pat started a nonsense wrestling federation on WWE 2K where me and him bought WWE. I own Raw, he owns SmackDown, and it's very much nonsense, hence the name. So there are set rosters for Raw and SmackDown, and there are some people involved like SpongeBob and Patrick and whatnot. So
because NXT, we don't need that. We just want to push our stars to the main roster already. Okay, that's what we believe.
Yeah. So
we need some chaos, some nonsense, and people from all sorts of crazy universes and whatnot. So you got to tune in because I actually just watched the match. It was I have it here. Hold on. It was the Super Mario Bros. Versus SpongeBob and Patrick for the tag team tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're into that shit,
yeah.
Twitch.tv/Nonsense Sports Network.
Yeah.
I will put it in the chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's not. Yeah, Monday is the day. I'm thinking early afternoon.
Yeah, because I just set my first Raw. I just put together the matches for Raw. The main event is sick, brothers. There's not a whole lot of nonsense on the first. Event? I don't know.
There's not it's not the first show.
The first show is not going to have a whole lot of nonsense.
It's
not. But the main event, I'll say, for the number one contendership of the, I think what is the?
I have the
WWE title.
Yeah, you have
World
the winged. No, you have the winged angel. I mean the winged eagle.
Oh yes, okay. So I have the WWE Championship, and it is
I have it right here.
Cody Rhodes versus Finn Balor versus Razor Ramon versus
the Ring
versus Gunther for the number one contender to the
that's gonna be
championship.
That's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, so the nonsense in that obviously is Razor Ramon, but there's a reason because Scott Hall is one of the loves of my life. So and this is his shot to become a world champion because he wasn't a world champion ever during his career. So
try to do.
So before we get into more nonsense, if we want to, let's finish the show, which was AJ Styles is having some beef with the OC, with the Good Brothers, because he was jumped backstage by Jimmy Uso. He rips the OC a new one because, hello, where were you? You didn't have my back. You literally just watched me get thrown over a box thing by Jimmy Uso, and you guys just didn't do anything. You haven't even come and checked on me. You're busy here with your dumb phone. I'm interested to see where this goes because I'm like, I cannot handle another OC breakup. And so I'm like, we need to stop doing this because they've done this so much. I'm like, please don't. So this leads into AJ Styles versus Jimmy Uso. AJ tells them all, hey, you know what? I'm going to go out there by myself tonight. Don't even bother coming out to help me. Okay. So just leave me alone. And this was a great match. Jimmy tried to win quickly because he needed to impress the bloodline, obviously, specifically Roman, because he wants to be back in the bloodline. Paul and Solo do come out mid-match, even though Paul said that Solo wasn't there, but, he's a liar. Let's go, AJ wins with a phenomenal forearm, and Solo runs in to attack him, but AJ gets out. And then that's when we're like, wait, what? What is happening here? The Judgment Day come out, and they beat up Mr. AJ while he's on the ramp, and then they basically give him as a peace offering to the bloodline. So Solo hits him with a Samoan spike, and then they just stare lovingly at each other, and it's like, what is going on here?
It was so weird, Sarah. Like, this is what I meant by my favorite ending to a SmackDown in so long, because usually I'm very good at giving, this is gonna boom bam, this is gonna go here, they're gonna feud there, whatever. With this, no idea. I don't know how it connects. I don't know why we're even doing it right now. If that makes sense, like I understand there was that weird moment I don't know which pay-per-view it was after or when it was after, but like remember Judgment Day, Imperium, KO and Sammy, like they were all in a weird alliance. Like, let's not forget
Yeah.
about that. Like, does
Mhm.
that connect now? Like, this is just
Well,
okay now.
even just looking at earlier in the evening, they insulted the Bloodline and the Tribal Chief by saying how they couldn't even beat KO and Sammy for the tag titles.
And
So
that's
I'm like, what? Like, you literally just insulted them at the highest peak that you possibly could. And then you're like, I'm wondering, is it a peace offering because you knew you messed up? You shouldn't have said that? Or like, is this something like, what are we trying to do here? Like, are you trying to get them to not come after you with the for the tag titles because now you're hiccup, because you're on SmackDown now? I don't know, but goodness, hiccup. Sorry, I'm intrigued. I know I say that a lot, but I'm intrigued.
What if it has nothing to do with the Bloodline and it's Judgment Day focusing in on the OC?
Maybe. I mean,
because you have the like a Judgment Day, everyone's equal. It's one alliance, all one, and there seems to be cracks in the OC, and they just do whatever for themselves, but they're like there's a weird dynamic to just go deeper into there.
Well, and Finn has prolonged beef with AJ. So, I mean, if he has beef with someone, then Damien's going to have beef with someone. But yeah, I'm curious to see where this goes. And I think that it was like, it was weird because we're like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like, what does this mean? What are they doing? But I feel like you have to do something like this, for one, to keep people watching, obviously. But two, like, now that the Judgment Day is on SmackDown, you want them to have some sort of involvement with people on SmackDown and not just these like one-off matches, with like the Brawling Brutes. Like, you don't want it to be that they're only on SmackDown to have these random tag matches and that's it. Like, that there's nothing like actually tying them to SmackDown, because then it does, like, why do they need to be on SmackDown? Just, it's like, other than the fact that, oh, well, they're SmackDown tag champs. Like, okay, well, technically they don't have to be there unless they actually have something going on with someone on SmackDown.
What if this is all I scratch your back, you scratch mine weekly, where I watch out for you, you watch out for me type of thing, because Judgment Day is not going to be on SmackDown, and there's Jey Uso on Raw.
Yeah.
So they could be keeping an eye on him. Dominic already interacted with him, saying that he would love to have him in Judgment Day. I don't know. There's a weird dynamic going on right now.
That's what makes it weird too, because technically, Jay is supposed to be like the enemy of the Bloodline right now, because he left and because he's been super kicking all of them and because he was traded to Raw, and yet Dominic was trying to suck up to him and recruit him to the Judgment Day, and now they're on SmackDown sucking up to Solo, and it's like, I'm so confused. But I feel like, the confusion, I think, can lead to something that could be really good, like at some point. Because also, then I have a theory about what's going on with the Usos, and that part is like, I'm still kind of convinced that this isn't legit. Like, I still think that they're colluding to make it seem like, Jimmy wants in, Jay wants out. Let's trade. Let's do this. Let's do that. I feel like it's just like a massive manipulation tactic that is going on between the Usos. And part of it, I think, is so that Jimmy can help like destroy them from the inside. That's what I really want to see happen, because I think that makes the whole thing a little bit more interesting than Jay being like, F the Bloodline, and Jimmy being like, I did it for you, Roman. Like, no, like,
I see something completely different. I mentioned this earlier in the show. Their songs are very different. And I saw this on Twitter, and then it really kind of connected. Jimmy's tune and music and whatever is very Roman Reigns Tribal Chief with a little bit of a beat to it. And Jay's is like, it's me, Uso. Like, he's still the Uso.
It's a remix of the Usos song.
But it's the same, like, but there's a difference with Jimmy's. It's more of a bloodline, not an Uso. To me, that's a little bit of an Easter egg.
Maybe.
That there's something going on between Himi Uso and the bloodline, Roman Reigns still.
Well, that could be like a circle back where like Jay or Jimmy didn't actually, make sure that Jay didn't beat Roman because he didn't want Jay to be the tribal chief. Maybe it was Jimmy wants to be the tribal chief. And
yes, I agree.
But, I'm still at that point where I believe Solo is going to be the next tribal chief. So that's fine. Whatever has to go down between now and then. That's fine. All right, let's see. Kingdom Razor definitely wants to see SpongeBob whoop some ass.
Oh, don't you worry. The best friends forever are going to be an integral part of what is it? I'm getting the real name of it because I have it up. Shenanigans Showdown Saturdays. I think it's Shenanigans Showdown.
Oh,
it's the Saturday show, the NWF show. It is Shenanigans Saturday. That is the name of the show.
Cha-Cha Boy asked us who's our all-time favorite booker.
I don't know any of the top. Like if
you're talking about like Vince McMahon, if you're talking about those types.
Yeah, I don't. I know
that
names,
I have a favorite,
but I don't know titles.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a favorite.
Bischoff's. I don't know if Bischoff's our booker.
Paul Heyman.
I mean, Paul Heyman. He's just one of my all-time favorite wrestling. People. It's just Paul Heyman's a goddamn legend.
DJ Zombie G says the Bloodline storyline is getting old. It should have ended months ago. I'm ready for the Judgment Day to reign to kick off in the biggest way of every show. I don't know that it needs to end months ago. I think that they're kind of like in a really weird situation right now, and I think part of it is because Roman wants time off, like as if he hasn't had enough time off. Don't even get me started on that conversation, but I think that's a big reason that this is kind of weird because we haven't had any interaction since Jimmy helped him win over Jay, and I feel like that's a huge fumbling of the bag if you're being honest, right?
It's also it should not have ended months ago. I don't agree with Paul that we're in the bottom of the third, but this is far from over.
Yeah.
And for good reason. There hasn't been a legit payoff yet. I'm sorry. There hasn't.
Yeah. I do think that they need to figure some things out though, because I said this, I think when we were talking about, I don't know if it was talking about Raw or what, but I do feel like, it's just a weird setting right now where it's like, I'm not checked out of the Bloodline storyline, but I'm not like watching SmackDown to see what's going on. Like at this point, I'm just kind of like, and I think part of it is also not just Roman, but now that they have them split, like now Jay's on Raw, and it's just like I don't really understand what's going on. I think it's just there's too much confusion right now for people to be super invested. I think if Roman were around, it would make things a lot more interesting.
But they need a cool down. It's like your favorite show season ending. Like they need more time to film.
They're gonna need to figure out something though to draw people back in. I think it needs to be huge.
I'm pretty fucking drawn in after watching Damian Priest and Finn Balor just throw AJ Styles at Solo.
Yeah, but that's still not like super heavily involved in the bloodline. That doesn't involve Roman. I mean, I guess, but that's not going to
involve Roman.
Well, I'm saying I think that they'll have to get other normal people in. Not everyone likes the Judgment Day.
What pay-per-view is next? Fastlane, and then what?
I don't know. Survivor Series. I don't know.
Yes, it would be Survivor Series. Roman comes back around Fastlane time. They're not going to use him. There's no reason. They don't need Roman Reigns to build up Fastlane. That's just
all right. Well, that was SmackDown.
And yes, Kingdom of Razor does. I saw this. I haven't found a Twitch channel, but it has football. Yes, Sports Network. There's multiple. Yowie wowie! Happy you found that. Fucking don't. Damn, that scares the shit out of me. Sports Network. Anyway. Yeah, sports network. Anyways, multiple sports. Check it out. I'm working on it. It's a passion project I've been working on. Technically, I think since 2020, trying to get it started. So the fact that we finally have an avenue to do it, would like you guys to join me on the journey.
And I have two things. One, I have a live stream scheduled for Monday. If anyone cares about listening to me talk about the New England Patriots versus the Eagles. And two, I already scheduled the Raw Rewind on Tuesday. I'm going to try to schedule them like further in advance so people know, and then it also allows me to change the time if we need to. So I will be trying to do that. So make sure you guys are subscribing so you can be notified because we're getting close to 1,000 subs, guys.
Yeah, that's so cool.
We're getting very
that's
close.
So cool.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Monday will be the stream of the draft on the rosters are set.
Yeah, the rosters are set.
You're gonna see Monday Night Raw presented by Sara Marshall, courtesy of the NWF, and I am your commentator. That is what you are going to see on Monday. Me commentating nonsense virtual wrestling and somehow making it into with stories and whatnot, using my imagination to make it entertaining. Because that's what I do.
If we could figure out a way for me to commentate as well, we'll figure it out. But we are also 3,000 miles away from each other. So
yeah. So unless you just buy an Xbox and add me as a friend and join as a party, then we're gonna need a little bit more planning at the drawing board to make it happen. But it is gonna happen. Sara will be involved in some way, shape, or form. This is just the infancy stages. When I say it's infancy and you're getting on now, big plans for it. So I really love the support, and I want to see the rosters. Monday, I'm going to show the rosters.
Yeah.
I will show the rosters on Monday. I'll show everything.
I have a better roster. Don't worry. Raw's better.
You do not.
I do.
Right? I will just throw that out.
I feel like we'll need to do a poll. I'll be like, who has a better roster?
We need to do a poll.
And you guys are going to vote.
I don't think. Okay. So Monday, I'm thinking early afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, because I'm going to be loud. I'm going to be excited. So I'm trying to find a way where the least amount of parentals in this house are here so I don't have to annoy the shit out of them. So I'm working on it. That's why you follow me on Twitter at @Pat_Pitts and at @SmarshXO, because I will tweet out the time that I'm going live. Go follow me there. On Instagram, I may do a video about it at Pitsy35 and at @SMarsh_. Right?
On Instagram, yeah.
Yes. Sweet. All right. And again, hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 1,000 subs. That's insane to think about that. We almost have 1,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. Help us get there. Help us make this into our jobs where we can provide even more content such as this and the NWF. And with that, I bid you adieu and thank you. God bless. Remember that you could do it. All you got to do is try. We'll see you on Tuesday. Yeah.